the explosion continues here. Staffing World 2023 next week. And I tell you what, I've got a good guy right here. Roman is in the house from TEMPWORKS. What's up, buddy?
Hey, morning, Richard, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on where you are.
That's right, man. And you just came from a conference, right?
Yeah, TempNet's here locally for us. I went and had a couple of meetings out there and visited with some folks, but they wanted to make sure I made it back to hang with you for a few minutes and chat whatever it is we're going to rap about.
That's right. We're going to wrap some fun times today. So TEMPWORKS, real quick, how long have you guys been around?
25 years.
Damn, that's pretty good.
25 years. Yeah. Family started in staffing, had some manpower franchises, and saw a need for a more back office staffing centric product, right? And moved into that space, moved away from the traditional staffing, and moved into software.
Man, I love it. And you know what? Everybody knows who TEMPWORKS is. You know, I used to use it on some of my platforms back in the day when I was in my staffing career. So I know it pretty well. So let's just deep dive into, first off, what's new with TEMPWORKS? What's going to come out at the Staffing World?
Oh, I don't know if we're having a big reveal. We're in the process. I don't know if we peek behind the curtain too much, but obviously we're looking at creating some partnerships, right, that are going to help our current customer base and our future customer base. So big releases, can't let that out quite yet, and I'll let the team that handles that do that stuff. But we got some exciting stuff coming.
Audience, I tried to get the sneak peek. It didn't work, but that's okay.
Hey, trust me. You know, as a sales leader, I want to tell you, I want to get out there and I want to just scream it out there. But our development team would probably take my kneecaps out, right? Making commitments like that. So we try to be careful about that stuff. It's not so much that it's proprietary. It's just we want to make sure it's ready, you know, and don't get people excited before you know it can be here. So more to come.
Awesome, man, on that end. So, okay, so let's just deep dive into TEMPWORKS. So take us through like A to Z real quick, like when you meet a new client, why they should go with you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know that they should, Richard. I think that's the beauty of our sales process and how we do things. What we've been focusing on for the last 4.5, 5 years is really getting to understand our clients, what they need, what kind of staffing they do. Most of our sales teams comes from staffing, so we've walked in those shoes, sat in those seats, been under that pressure. So what we try to do is understand our customers better. And when we were selling staffing, it was the same issue. People complained that we didn't understand them, right? So you take time to get to know them, understand their rhythms, good and bad, what they're doing with their technology today, how they're leveraging it, or if they're not. And then find out what they need. What does it look like today? What do you need it to look like tomorrow? And can we fit that? And oftentimes, I just had a conversation this morning with somebody who I didn't think we were going to be a good fit with. So we just had a very open and honest conversation about it, and told them that we weren't, we'll get there. They needed some tools that we just didn't have available yet, and they appreciated it, obviously, and agreed to continue communicating. And they opened the door to let us talk as we get some of those tools in place that they may need. So that's really the beginning of our sales process, as everybody does a discovery call and then we move into demos. But the whole time we're really trying to get granular with our prospective customers in order to understand them and then really make a good match. If they need 10 things, can we check off 9 of those 10 boxes? And then the other part of that is understanding the one we don't check off, what's that going to do for them and how's that going to change their rhythm?
100%. And we all talk about speed too. I know, especially in industrial or wherever you're at. I mean, the candidates, we got to have them right now. So, and you guys, you have a great, robust system for that. Let's talk a little bit about the mobile app and how that works with you guys.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. It's called Buzz. It's our Buzz app.
Is it called Buzz? I love it.
Yeah, Buzz.
Okay, time out. Who came up with the name Buzz?
We might have got it from Ric Flair. I'm not sure. I actually don't know the story of where the name Buzz came from. And then that's one of the things that is behind the curtain, getting some work done right now as well. So we're excited to share some of that stuff coming up. But the mobile app is truly one of the first mobile apps in the staffing space that is staffing centric. And really what it allows you to do is, one of the major things is grabbing candidates as quickly as you can is still vital. It allows you to have everybody that's downloaded that app and has access to your job board. It allows them to share those jobs with one touch, either via text messaging or it can put it on their social media feeds. It does that, plus it services contractors while they're already on or while they're about to go into assignment, right? Has their assignment information, pay, check stubs. That information allows them to communicate also with their recruiter internally should they have any questions. But it's really, really great. And when used properly, it can expand your network massively.
Man, that's great. And the mobile app, I mean, everybody's on their phone 90% of the time. I mean, seriously, that or a laptop, but like candidates, they're all on their phone. They want to do everything on the phone. Nobody wants to go to the library or something like that anymore. I mean, we're in the wave of the future. I mean, that's where it's at.
Absolutely. And it's easier, right? If you don't, if people enjoy working through an app more so than grabbing a browser on their phone, right?
Oh.
The other part of that is what we're seeing, especially, I think I saw one of your podcasts where you talked about your heart and soul is kind of in the light industrial space, right? Mm-hmm. And in that space, you can tend to have some bilingual speakers or not, English as a second language speakers. And I think a lot of times people assume that English ESL candidates don't use an app or don't use smartphones. And when they do, we see that they use apps and they do. So our app absolutely can be in Spanish as well to accommodate those folks. But we're seeing usage all over the place. Again, when you push it and you say, hey, use this, let's communicate through this, the adoption rate is fantastic and it really does help the candidate experience.
Exactly. And it's even about the format too. I mean, when they get on and they want to apply for something, you got to have big, bold, you got to make it easy for them. I don't know about you, but back in the day when I applied for jobs, if it said you had to go set up a password and you have to go to their site and you have to do 5 steps, I'll be honest with you, I just got off it and said, I don't want to go for this job,
Yeah, you deleted it as quickly as you downloaded it, right? Just from that. So ours is really, really simple. Put a code in there to the staffing company that you're assigned to or that you're trying to work with, and it populates all the information that staffing company wants you to have.
So Roman, out there, you're out on the streets all the time. So what are you seeing like pain points with when they come to you, about, maybe they work with another ATS system or maybe they don't even have one, So what do you see on the streets right now in 2023 to people saying, hey, we need to, get TEMPWORKS?
Yeah. Oh boy, that's a big question. So when they're not using any kind of software, which we still do run into, there's companies that are doing really well still with spreadsheets. They're growing their business. It's true. And you've got to be in a good market to be able to do that, right? So meaning good market, meaning maybe you don't have a lot of competitors. Maybe it's a mid-level, maybe even a C-type market, but we're seeing that and they're successful. However, they become more efficient, obviously, as they adopt some sort, technology, especially an all-in-one like ours that has your ATS, CRM, and back office all in the same place. So we are seeing that. We are seeing some really good stuff from people coming from other technologies.
Man.
Or no technology, I should say.
That's the scary thing if you're not using technology. And something I say all the time, Roman, you probably agree on this. When you select a CRM or ATS system, you want one you can grow with. If you just and I see this all the time, you probably see this too, they'll go with a smaller version and then they have to try to find something else to transfer the data over and all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen it happen many times. I've actually experienced it. You get gray in your hair when it goes from one to the next. So I think everybody should be with one where they can grow right off the bat.
Yep. You need to have one that fits you, right? Or that is able to grow with you, or you grow into it. And that's what we see. I spent 21 years in staffing prior to coming over to the technology side and went through 4 or 5 different system changes myself. One of the system changes was way too robust for the sales. They weren't ready for it, right? And so what happens is you're just doing the bare minimum to keep people off your back, right? Document your meetings, maybe put a couple of phone calls in, but you're not really using technology. And I think that's what we see from in the industry sometimes is people are biting off more than they can chew. They see all the bells and whistles and they dive in head first and want to adopt them. But it's just really, especially if you're coming from a system that doesn't have as many bells and whistles, it's just really hard to consume all that. You're drinking through a fire hose, and eventually what will happen is recruiters or salespeople, they just won't use it. They'll use it, like, again, to keep, to check off a box, but it doesn't help them advance their sale or advance their recruit.
100%. I see so many staffing firms I work with that actually I go in and they're not even using the ATS system to the capacity, not even like 10%. It's almost like they're still doing, because they're scared of change and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, guys, this is here to help you, We
see that all the time. And that's one of the things that our account management team, they were a lot of them come from staffing, right? We made a big push over the last 4 or 5 years to hire people from the industry, speak the same language, right? And so we see a lot of those account managers having that same conversation with our own clients, right? And saying, here's how you're using the software, and here's how you're not using it, and they're coaching them and helping them get to places where they're using it, and it's helping them become more efficient, right? We've seen it where maybe their goal was to put 2 or 3 people to work a week per recruiter, and if you're using the system effectively, that can jump up to 4 or 5.
100%. And then, you know what, this is tying into tech stack too, because that's something you guys deal with too. And, you know, I'm going to tell you, when tech stack came out, when was it, 3, 4 years ago? Everybody bought all the tech, and then they're like, I didn't use half of it, you know? And I'm sure you see that on the streets now too. It's like, you got all these, and like, I just bought them all because I went to all these conferences and they all look great. And now I don't need them all.
Yeah. Now you got 10 different systems with 10 different logins.
Oh,
right.
Jesus.
That's just, and then so you stop using them, and you're just paying money for them. It's I think the equivalent to the streaming services that people sign up for and then don't even end up using them, and just keep paying for them anyway.
Well, I don't know about you, but streaming services, I let my family buy them, and I just, I just get their password to tap into that.
Yeah, there you go. Share. We won't tell anybody that, but yeah, sharing those logins. Yeah,
exactly. That's right. But you know what? You are so right about that stuff, like the tech stack and then the AI. You know, I definitely want to hit this before we go. Is AI? I mean, naturally, at Staffing World, it's all about AI. I mean, seriously, we know. I mean, all the round tables and all that's going to be exciting. What's your take on AI?
I don't think, coming from the recruiting industry, you're never going to lose the hand-to-hand moments. You're always going to need those, right? Recruiting is still relationship building. What AI can do, though, however, and I've seen it first. Like I said, I was responsible for selling to one of the largest companies, or the largest company in the world, in my staffing days, right? And they were ahead of it. They were using AI to make matches. There was no recruiter interaction at all. They were hiring 3,000 or 4,000 people within a matter of 6 weeks, and there's no way people can't do that, right? So the AI bots were doing it, and it was working for them, but they were also going through, for every 5 that you hire, 3 would attrit very quickly, right? So it has its limitations. But I think one thing that AI does for us from a recruiting capacity is it gets us to people a lot quicker, and therefore you're not having to go through 7 pages of searching to find a candidate. AI can help you get there a lot faster. And then after that, it's up to the skill of the recruiter to find out, is this what you want? Is this the best fit for you? And then start to build on that relationship from there. But definitely allows you to get there quicker.
Dude, I love it. I'll be honest with you. You know what's amazing? We talked about this on previous shows. ChatGPT is not even a year old.
No. And you know what? Some of the things I've heard, or that we continue to read about, is it's just working too well, right? That it's a little bit scary in how well it's working and making some matches, and they got to kind of slow it down. So I'm sure a lot of the audience, so you guys have read some of the traps that can be there with that. So we got to be careful on how we utilize and bring that AI into our universe.
Exactly, because I checked out myself, and it made me be like a millionaire, and I'm not a millionaire. So it's like, okay, what's this technology going? If this is true, where's my money at in the bank?
It's all virtual, Richard. It's all virtual.
Oh my God. It did say one thing. It said very energetic, high energy all the time. So I must be putting in keywords in all the time. So it did get that right, at least.
Yeah. We've messed around with it, had it come up with a couple of seed emails and stuff. Pretty good. Works pretty well. I think the thing I'm going to ask it this weekend is maybe what the Powerball numbers may be. If that thing's getting over $1 billion again, I think.
Oh man! Well, if you win that, just let you know that I'm going to charge you a fee for being on the show. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, that's totally fine, and you will not see me next week in Staffing World. So,
oh, that's too much fun. So before we go, like I said, anything else that you want to say? The booth. I know back in the day you guys had the socks. I still got my TEMPWORKS socks. I gotta find them somewhere in the closet. But remember that you had them.
That's funny. I didn't. So I started at TEMPWORKS right during when the pandemic started. What a perfect time to make a career change. But I've heard you're probably the 7th or 8th person that's asked me about the socks, and I still haven't seen them yet. So I've got it on my list to ask our marketing team about them, because apparently they were fairly popular.
They need to bring them back, like the retro colors back. I'm seriously, everybody loved them.
Hey man, I'm in. I could use some socks. I'll take them.
Any cool swag gear coming at the booth this year?
Yeah, we'll definitely have some giveaways. We'll have some stuff. Stop by and chat. look, we're open to having conversations. Just wanting to talk about what you guys are doing today. Maybe even come in, ask for some advice, pick our brain a little bit. Promise you, we'll leave the car sale for another time. But stop by, come on, let's have a chat. Let's get to start building a relationship, talking about what you guys are doing today from a tech perspective, and whether or not we can be a fit for you doesn't matter. Just come on by and let's rap about it.
It's all about having fun. And you know the expo, I'm going to tell you straight up, an evening when they have the cocktail hour is the best time for traffic. You know that. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody just wants to mingle. You know, if you feel scared to go to the booth, just bring it, man, and have some fun with, do a one-on-one demo or whatever, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to catch me at my best, catch me with a beer in my hand.
Well, me and you might have to get a picture with a beer, man. You know that, because I'll be there for sure for that.
All right, brother. We'll definitely do that.
And before we go here, I got to just give a shout out to the sponsorship, Advanced Partners. And I'm going to say this like this. They put the fun in funding. Great tagline, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great tagline. Awesome.
They're good people there. Okay, so before we go, I already prepped you for this, my man. You ready for this? So Charlotte, they all talk about NASCAR, but the Shark's going to talk about the one and only Nature Boy Ric Flair from Charlotte. So on 3, are you ready for the Staffy Shark? You know what? You ready, guy?
Let's do this. I'm about to scare the shit out of my dogs. 2,
3. Woo! Yes, that's Staffy World, man. Bring the excitement.
Let's go.
Make sure you check out TEMPWORKS software right below. You won't be disappointed, man. Hey, my man, Roman, it's been a pleasure, brother. I will see you in Charlotte, man, in 5 days, 4 days?
Absolutely, man. Thank you for giving me some time with your audience and you as well. And look forward to seeing you next week. And let's have some fun, guys. Let's have some good conversations next week and look forward to seeing everybody.
Sounds good, buddy. Hey, safe travels, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.